Once word of the discovery of the New World spread throughout the Old World, the kingdoms and empires of Europe, many people began to plan journeys of their own across the Atlantic Ocean. Starting around 1620, tens of thousands of British, German, and Dutch, but mostly British Puritans, came to North America to escape religious persecution, or to search for better opportunity, or simply for an adventure. The Puritans spread throughout New England in the Northeast. The Dutch settled along the Hudson River in New York and established rich, successful trading posts in cities like New Amsterdam, which we now call New York City. English Quakers established the Pennsylvania colony and its commercial center, Philadelphia. More than 90% of these early colonists became farmers. And because they were living in small, widespread villages, disease didn't spread as easily as it could back in Europe, which kept the death rate among settlers in America low. All these farmers needed large families to help them farm, which caused the population to boom, especially in the New England colonies. As land became harder to come by along the coasts, the roughly 350,000 Scottish and Northern Irish who arrived throughout the 1700s settled inland in western Pennsylvania and along the Appalachians deep into the South. The British sent 60,000 prisoners across the ocean to Georgia, although the only thing many of these men were guilty of was being poor and out of work. Tobacco was a highly profitable cash crop in the southern colonies, so many British settled there and began to take advantage of the thriving slave trade.
So those of us who study immigration history think in terms of why people leave their homelands and why they come here. And those are generally encapsulated in two words: push and pull. Something pushes them out of their homeland and something has pulled them to the United States. Now, obviously, in the earliest cases of slavery, they were not necessarily pushed from their homeland, but they were taken from their homeland. But the reason why they were taken is because there was labor to be done here in the United States. And it was a global force. The slave trade was fairly global, at least in the Atlantic, and later Asia would become involved in it as well. So here you have a forced migration.
Hundreds of thousands of Africans were mercilessly captured and taken prisoner in their own lands, then put on ships bound for America, where they were sold into a life of hard labor for no pay and no chance of freedom. This is the population breakdown of the country around 1790, shortly after the colony's hard-won War of Independence with the British and the adoption of the American Constitution, which officially created the United States. The Native American population was so decimated by disease, war, and migration to the West that only about 100,000 were left inside the territorial United States. Out west, many Spaniards moved north from Mexico across the Rio Grande to settle in California, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. Not all of these settlers were of European descent. They could all speak Spanish, but ethnically they were a melting pot of whites, Indians, and mestizos, or people of mixed race. French settlers established footholds mainly along the St. Lawrence River and the Great Lakes, along the Mississippi River, and along the Gulf Coast, establishing the city of New Orleans. Their descendants are known as Cajuns. These French and Spanish populations would be incorporated into the United States in the coming decades through the Louisiana Purchase and the granting of statehood to the Western Territories. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of our 6-part series on America's history of immigration. Click on the screen to watch part 1, or the next part, part 3, or our latest video, or our video on the most ambitious mega projects currently under development around the world.